This is Jim Lenahan, and you're looking at the Opto Comp, which is kind of a clone of a old DOD 280, which is an opto compressor. Now the opto compressor is called by its name because instead of a regular voltage controlled amplifier or maybe an RMS detector, it uses an optocoupler, which is, in this case, it's a plastic tube that has an LED in one end that's facing a light-dependent resistor on the other end. And your signal makes the LED get brighter or darker, depending on how hard you play. And the light directly affects the light-dependent resistor, which turns you up or down. And so one of the things that's different about these is these don't act really anything like an MXR Dynacomp or an old Ross, which was a copy of a Dynacomp, or an orange squeezer or anything like that. What this is being controlled by the optocoupler. The main difference here is, if you'll notice, when you hit a note with the optocomp, there's no distortion. With an orange squeezer or an MXR Distortion Plus, if you're not playing and then you hit a note, there'll be like a crack sound or kind of a distortion sound for a split second, and then it will start to compress. These don't do that. Optocouplers don't add any distortion, but they do act different. In fact, they don't squash, in my opinion, and create a squashy sound like an MXR Dynacomp does. They don't do that so well, but they do turn you up for sustain very well. So it depends on what you actually want out of a compressor. When I was a kid, I thought that that's what a compressor did. You know, reading some of the ads for guitar pedals, they always talked about sustain. I found out later, when I bought my MXR pedals as a kid in the 70s, young teenager, I didn't really understand what the compressor was doing until much later, and then when you hear people like, Brent Mason or somebody like that, Nashville studio picker and extraordinaire, he uses a compressor as a tone tool, as something to create a sound, and it complements his playing and vice versa. This isn't like that. Now, if you were to try this in a setting like I have here, it's pretty high compression levels, but it depends on how hard you hit the thing as to how much it compresses. See, if I hit it harder, at more extreme levels it does compress more, but you can hear it turning you up. Let's see. Didn't mean to move the camera on you there. You can definitely hear it. You can hear it turn that note up at the end. Sorry, I'm trying to play the guitar kind of kneeling down behind a tripod here. Now, at less extreme settings, it does less. It smooths it out, I think, a little better. It really depends what you're trying to do with it. That's a pretty good setting right here. You can hear how it makes the notes bloom. And like I say, it doesn't have the distortion. So if you listen like right here, that's just the plain note coming out. It doesn't have that crackly sound like an MXR does. So it just depends on what you're actually looking for. Well, that's just for reference. Kind of an interesting thing, and have a good one. Bye.